What's up guys, my name is Brandon, welcome to Quick Flicks. Today we are covering the quickly produced sequel, The Purge Anarchy, directed by James DeMonaco, releasing just 1 year after its predecessor in 2014. The Purge Anarchy differs from the first film, exploring more of the world during the annual purge. From raging alcoholics to armies, there's quite a bit more going on in this movie. After rewatching every film, I have to say this one is my personal favorite. It's exciting, fun, and quite intense. Enough of my opinions though, let me help you formulate yours and let's hop into the movie. The movie opens up with text on screen showing some more statistics, although it appears that unemployment has risen 4% since the previous purge, and that there are fewer and fewer impoverished each year. We then jump to 2 hours and 26 minutes until the start of the 2023 annual purge. First up, we follow a hard-working waitress, Ava, who along with her co-workers are awaiting to leave work to get home in time for lockdown, in order to stay safe from all of those nasty purgers. We then meet Leo, who is gearing up to kill the man that killed his son in a drunk car accident, but got a slap on the wrist due to the faulty justice system. We then meet couple Shane and Liz, who were awfully quiet due to them recently calling off their engagement, although Shane is having some second thoughts about it. Finally arriving home, Ava walks into the lobby of her apartment, only to be harassed by a drunk named Diego. Diego is played by Noel Guglielmi, who most people know for playing a very similar role across most of his films, most notably to me, The Walking Dead and Gangs of the Dead, originally titled Last Rites, which I strongly recommend watching if you like cheesy low-budget films. Ava gets home to be greeted by her very sick dad, Papa Rico, who is in need of medicine that they can barely afford, and her daughter, Callie, who is very much anti-purge and follows a like-minded man online, Carmelo Johns, who insists the purge was actually designed to eliminate the poor in an attempt to control population, rather than the citizens just releasing anger. Papa Rico lets the girls know that he's heading to bed for the night, as he hates this godforsaken holiday. He expresses his love for them and heads off, the girls finding it a bit weird. Also in a weird predicament, Shane and Liz get harassed by some real scary looking purgers. The lead purger, known as Young Ghoulface, steps on out and gives us one of the most iconic shots from the entire Purge franchise. This freaks the ex-couple out enough to get the freak on out of there. They drive down the road, quickly forgetting about the crew of dudes, and begin arguing about their relationship. But they get interrupted by their vehicle losing power and breaking down. They pull over to the side of the road and try flagging down passerbyers, but to no avail. Shane decides to finally check the car, don't know what took him so long, and sees that some wires have been cut. The sounds of bikes interrupt their diagnosis, and they look to see the group of purgers following them. Hey guys. They say frick the car and get on out of there. Back at the APT, Ava and Callie are counting down the minutes until the start of the purge, until the famous emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge plays on their TV. We then get a fun montage of various people throughout the city getting ready to unleash the beast. Leo gets his souped up Charger and heads out. Papa Rico gets dressed all nice, then leaving in a limousine. And the couple are heck out of luck as they have no source of transportation and are stuck in the middle of downtown. They head to an alleyway in an attempt to get away from the group of purgers stalking them, but get spooked when a guy gets thrown off a fire escape to his presumed death. While they work on their cardio, Ava and Callie find a letter on Papa Rico's bed, informing them that he will be a martyr for a wealthy family, who will then transfer $100,000 to the girls' bank accounts afterward. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry, here's an explanation.
It's how the wealthy purge, baby. They buy poor and sick people, and they take them into their homes, and they kill them where they're safe.
Poor Papa Rico, I liked him. While Callie remarks how this is exactly what Carmelo was referring to, in terms of killing the poor for population control, they hear a loud truck pull up outside, and oh, that does not look good. Well, that was quick. Nah, it's just your friendly neighborhood Diego, you know, breaking in with a shotgun and whatnot. He finds the girls in the back room, making extreme threats of tormenting and killing them. Look at them teeth. He goes on a rant about how purging is his right, granted to him by the new founding fathers of America, and does some disgusting licking. Ew. But quickly gets his attention drawn to the living room. Diego thinks it's Papa Rico and storms out only to get lit up by the armored men. The girls hide in a closet, but quickly get caught. Instead of getting killed though, they are being preserved for Big Daddy. They get dragged out of the chaotic apartment and onto the street. They try putting up a fight and escaping, but to no avail. Luckily for them, Leo happens to see this ish going down as he cruises on by. He can't help but try to save them, as the mother-daughter duo reminds him of his son. He parks, gets out, and gears up. As he stealthily sneaks up, Shane and Liz just so happen to mosey on down the road and take cover behind Leo's Charger. You know, for a very tactical man, you would think he'd lock his doors. While they hide, Leo charges in and takes over the situation, doing some pew-pew and killing these fools. Big Daddy shows up to the party, but gets blasted instead. He tells the girls to follow him, and they head back to his armored car. They get jump scared by Shane and Liz, however, and Leo gets ready to shoot him, but young Ghoulface and his gang of purgers arriving, and Big Daddy awakening to hop on his minigun, Leo and the girls are forced to trust the couple and get the freak out of there. They speed on out, but not before Big Daddy can land a few shots on the car. Although they get out of the area, the group doesn't make it very far, as the minigun had armor-piercing rounds, penetrating through the armor and destroying the engine. Forced to travel on foot now, Leo can't really help anymore, as he has his own personal mission. He gives the group a gun and goes on about his business, but they don't like that very much.
You're on your own now.
Huh?
Whoa,
No, wait, what?
whoa, what do you mean we're on our own?
I should have never gotten involved. It's none of my business.
Okay, but you did, so it is your business now, all right?
So you're really just gonna leave us here?
What? Aren't you guys adults? Why do you expect this stranger to risk his life for you? I don't know, this part just kind of confused me. Anyway, Ava knows that he's up to something, and that having a vehicle would be better than walking to wherever he needs to go. She tells him that her friend, Tanya, has a vehicle that he can use, as long as he can guide them to her house. He agrees to do so, and they head out. Leaving the alleyway, they come across a woman killing people and ranting about the Purge, and how she also believes it's used for population control. They cross the street, luckily avoiding her, but see Young Ghoul's group, who has been following them all night, tossing a random dude into their ice cream truck and driving off. That was close.
We're gonna cross banks.
No, that's a long way. It's gonna be much quicker if we go down here.
I mean, that's kind of what you get for not listening to the man that you pleaded to protect you. This alerts some purgers, some shooting at them, some running up on them, but dying in the process, and others running down the street, ready to do some melee attacks. But Shane luckily shoots the lock in time, and the group skedaddles on out of there. They move through the quiet business district, where the group finally introduces themselves to each other, pass a dead stockbroker who stole some people's pensions, named David Newstatter, and come upon what looks to be like a battleground. A dude jump scares the group, but quickly falls to his death, his final words being, "We were just doing our duty." Callie quickly realizes he's a part of the group that ambushed their apartment building, and their truck is abandoned amongst many other dead armored dudes. They climb in to see some very expensive equipment, including targets on apartment buildings around the projects, and access to the city traffic cameras, which is controlled by the government, further proving this theory that maybe the new founding fathers really are trying to kill the poor and control the population. Due to the truck being disabled and what looks to be like another army on the way, the group must continue on foot through another alleyway. They come up on some purgers doing what they do best, when a random rat scares the daylights out of Liz, grabbing one of their attentions. Leo decides to do this quickly and quietly, and puts the guy in a chokehold until he dies. This gives the group enough space to stealthily sneak their way into the subway, while Callie gives Leo a strong talking to about how purging is bad, and he should not do whatever it is he's out there to do. They come across a group of homeless people just trying to make it through the night, but that plan quickly falls apart as a group of purgers in vehicles with flamethrowers, guns, and bats make their way down the tunnels and kill quite a few of them. Aw, that's sad. While the group runs, Shane realizes they won't make it and stays behind, getting shot in the process, but winning the battle as he shoots the flamethrower dude's back bling, causing these fools to cook. Liz helps Shane up the stairs, and although he's in rough shape, they power through and run through the streets to Tanya's apartment building. A traffic camera spots them on the way though, and reports to a semi-truck, which veers off to go after them. They finally get to Tanya's apartment, and she helps them inside, providing them food and some temporary treatment options for Shane's gunshot wound. Also in the apartment is Tanya's father, brother-in-law, Roddy, and her sister, Lorraine. Things seem to be going well for Shane and Liz, laughing together once again. However, Ava breaks the news to Leo that there is no car, angering him quite a bit. But they are quickly interrupted by Lorraine shooting Tanya to death. Everyone takes cover, and her husband Roddy asks why on earth would Lorraine kill her own sister, Lorraine letting him in on how she knows he and Tanya had been having an affair. How could she do this to international superstar Rogelio de la Vega? Leo provides some covering shots for the main group to get on out of there, and they just kind of leave and let that family deal with their own problems. They chill in the lobby for a minute, formulating a plan, when they hear the semi-truck pulling up outside. Leo goes to check it out and sees Big Daddy giving instructions to a group of armored men on how he wants the group dead. Leo runs back inside to relay the info to the group and tells them they gotta get on out of there right the frick now. They head out the door and climb over a fence, only to be beaten and captured by the young Ghoulface group of Purgers. Being held at gunpoint don't scare Callie though, and she demands some answers to her questions, like why haven't they killed them yet? Young Ghoulface removing his mask to let her know that they don't feel the need to purge. They just capture Big Daddy's scraps and deliver them to some rich folks for a cash reward. Now that we can see young Ghoulface's actual face, we can see that he is played by Lakeith Stanfield, who you may recognize from Knives Out as Lieutenant Elliot, Get Out as Andre, and Straight Outta Compton as Snoop D-O Double G. The group finally arrives at an unknown location and is forced inside to be lined up on a stage in front of many rich folks who seem quite happy to be there. A hostess auctions off the group members one by one to these rich people hunters until they are all finally sold. The auction is quickly wrapped up, and the group is thrown into a pitch-black arena-style room with the hunters pledging to the new founding fathers before taking their weapons with them to kill. Leo tells his goodest Purge pals to stay put while he goes out and beats a guy to death to get his goggles and weapon, stunning the live audience. He continues on and John Wicks these fools one by one. After killing a pair of sisters who are good with blades, he finally gets a gun and heads back to the group, giving them weapons and goggles as well. He notices his BA-ness scares off the rest of the hunters, and the hostess doesn't like that much. She alerts security and sends them in. They're like ants crawling everywhere and surrounding the area. As the end looks near and dear for our group, Liz and Shane have one last I love you before a random guard lays into him. Swift Leo turns around quickly and puts him down, but it's too late, as Shane's dead. Some alarms start going off to warn the rich people that they are being infiltrated by explosive devices. But it's too late for these security guards, as the stranger from the first movie comes in, mowing them down. He and the rest of Carmelo's team move in and rescue the others, killing the rest of the security guards. Carmelo makes his grand entrance and meets one of his biggest fans, Callie. Leo tells the group it's time to get out of there, but Liz, being traumatized by losing the love of her life, doesn't want to go and would rather purge. So the stranger promises to look after her, allowing the group to move on about their business. They head to the garage where they carjack the hostess and her husband, Leo giving her a piece of his mind before letting her go and then driving off. With not much time remaining for this year's purge, Leo goes to complete the mission on his personal agenda. Parked outside of the target's house, Leo informs the girls about how the man in that house, named Warren, killed his son, but was let go due to the faulty justice system. They try to stop him from going through with it, as they don't think it'll actually help him feel better. But he don't care, and heads out. And through Warren's back door, he finds Warren and his wife sleeping in bed, but punches the man awake, frightening both of them. Leo tosses them on the floor and yells at Warren for what he did, as his wife pleads with Leo not to kill him. The yelling suddenly stops, and we cut to the exterior of the house, where Leo walks out with blood all over him. But he quickly gets pew-pewed and falls to the ground. None other than Big Daddy stands on top of him and informs him that after running his license plate, it was obvious where Leo was heading. He then decides to give Leo a speech before killing him, about how there's an unwritten purge rule, that you don't save lives, you take them, and that the citizens of the United States haven't been killing each other enough each year. The NFFA has taken matters into their own hands and started killing people themselves to keep the poverty levels low and the population population controlled. Big Daddy gets ready to end Leo, but he gets headshotted by none other than Warren. Yeah, Leo took Callie's advice after all, and didn't kill him. This triggers Ava, Callie, and Big Daddy's men to show up, aiming guns at one another. But before any more bloodshed can ensue, the Purge sirens begin to blare, ending the 2023 Purge. Ava and Callie help Leo up and load him into Warren's car, who then drive to the hospital. They head inside as the camera pans up to the sky. The movie ends with some text on screen promoting the next Purge 364 days out, and that's it. The screen cuts to black. Let me know what you guys thought of the Purge Anarchy. Did you like it? Hate it? Better than the first one? Let me know down below. Next week, we will be covering the third installment of the franchise, The Purge Election Year. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. It really helps me out. And if you don't want to miss any videos, hit that subscribe button. It's up to you. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one.